How do you deal with the expectations of everyone putting things on you?
I deal with it in a number of ways. One, understanding what the expectation is. Like first and foremost, when you list all those different things come with an expectation.
Yeah.
And I have a pretty keen understanding of what those expectations are. Mm-hmm. The key is to not feel the pressure and to decide how I want to meet the expectation relative to the various title or role I may be playing. Because a lot of times what happens in my experience, and one of the reasons why I wrote the book, is because we all feel various pressures relative to what's expected of us.
Yeah.
And then instead of trying to understand, okay, well, what do I expect of myself?
Yeah.
And what of the expectations that are expected of me do I actually agree with, and which ones don't I agree with? Instead of making that assessment, we just try to meet everything.
Yeah.
And become everything to everybody.
Yeah.
And we wonder why we're not happy, and we're stressed out, and we're discouraged because we can never be enough to feel enough, right?
Yeah.
We can never do enough to be enough. And so when it comes to all the different things that I am and all the different titles you just listed, I am understanding of what their expectation is from the outside. But I don't allow that to determine the expectations that I set for myself. And that's been the key to managing it. Just because someone expects something of me, I don't automatically just do that. I say, well, okay, I understand the expectation of what it means to be a producer. Okay, great. But I'm going to do this in the way that I feel called to do it. Ooh. So it's really important to not allow those outside pressures to then become the internal pressure where we never actually set an expectation for ourselves and decide which expectations work and which do not.
Yeah. You talking my language. How do we live free? What does living free actually mean?
So when you talk about living free, this is the definition of living free. You and I, we live free when we are not under the mental, emotional, or physical control of anyone or anything.
Hold on, you gotta say that again. I'm
when
gonna
we
type
live
that
free, I'm repeating it. When we live free, we are not under the mental, emotional, or physical control of anyone or anything. This is what it means to live free. So when you talk about that expectation, if you have an unset expectation, that then becomes the form of control.
Yeah.
Because that expectation that you have not set, that when I have unset expectations, then I am under the control emotionally.
Yeah. Sometimes
physically, right? Sometimes energetically from that expectation. So we go back to the example you just mentioned, okay, so I have this podcast. I have this expectation, that I need to get certain number of downloads, and I'm looking at all my peers and they're doing X, Y, and Z. Well, first and foremost, what happens is that everybody is in their own journey against themselves.
Yeah.
So if I'm looking at somebody else's track, right, I'm going to take my focus in a direction it's not supposed to go.
Yeah.
Because what I'm expecting is like, I want to expect to be like that. No, the expectation is how do I become the best me, do the best work that I can do, and trust that that's going to work and be enough.
Yeah.
And so often one of the reasons why we don't feel enough is because, when we were raised in, childhood, there were all these expectations put on us. We learned a performance-based way of living.
Yeah.
Oh, good job. You got A's on your report card. You're a good boy. You're a good girl. So we learned, if I just meet everybody else's expectation.
Yep.
And I keep comparing, that's my path. And then as we get older, we realize that's not true.
So good.
Those are actually fake goals. And I talk about that in the book, creating real goals versus fake goals. So the idea of living free is to say, I live free when I set expectations for myself. I don't live by anyone else's expectation of me. I live only by the expectations I choose to set. Now, that doesn't mean that everyone else's expectation of me is bad. Someone can have an expectation of me and I agree that, yes, I actually agree to meet that expectation. Okay, great. Wonderful. But the key to living free is to make sure you are not living by any expectation that is not of your choosing.
Wow.
And then once you choose an expectation, then you got to learn the process to set your expectations, which I know we'll talk about. But that is what it means to live free.
So when you say set our own expectations, right? How can we determine
Yes.
if the expectations we've placed on ourselves are actually healthy for us? Because
Yes.
that's
Okay,
a question
great,
for
cool,
myself,
great.
you know, because it's like, man, is that a
Right,
healthy
right.
expectation, Anthony, to have this goal?
Here's this is so important. It's such a good conversation. I pray anyone watching or listening takes this in.
Yeah.
Because what you're describing is what happens in the culture. We feel the outside pressure to live a life not of our choosing. Because how do you know if it's an expectation you're supposed to have? If it's an expectation that's healthy, it brings you joy.
Okay.
If it's an expectation that's destructive, it brings you pain. When you go to the gym, you endure the stress of the gym, but it's a joyful pain.
Yes.
It's a joyful stress, right?
Yes, yeah.
Because you are becoming better. When you go and do something that's not really in your heart to do, it's just pain for the sake of pain because it's not in your spirit.
Yeah.
But the reality is that we're all on our own path.
Yeah.
And we have to resist the temptation to live for someone else and their expectation when it's not the expectation we want to live by.
Yeah.
And so how do you know if it's a good expectation to have? It either brings you joy. It brings you joy. How do you know it's the wrong expectation? It brings you pain. Very simple. If you're navigating, should you do an expectation or should you meet it? And I'm going to say a non-professional expectation because I want to get there because there's a difference when we talk about professional expectations.
Yeah.
But when we talk about a personal expectation or relational expectation, you got to identify, does it bring me joy or pain? And if it brings you more pain than joy, I would argue that that's an expectation you should not be trying to meet.
How do you deal with pushing away other people's expectations when you know where you need to be going?
Yeah, it's a great question. You gotta care a whole lot less about what somebody thinks.
Yeah.
That's because see what happens is when I care too much about somebody else's point of view, there's a temptation to allow their point of view to become my point of view.
Ooh.
Growing up, when I was, getting clear and revelations that I was supposed to go to Hollywood and, everybody was like, no, you need to go into ministry, or they were like saying, don't go to Hollywood. It's Sodom and Gomorrah. It's the devil's playground, all this type of stuff, right? It's like, no, you can't do it. Here's the reality when you assess it. Okay, so the advice you're giving me about what you think God is doing, have you prayed on it? Before you gave me that advice. 2, did God consult with you about my creation? Did he actually tell you what I was actually created to do?
Yeah.
And if he didn't, if you have not prayed on it and he has not consulted you, what makes you so confident that what you're telling me to do is what I actually should do?
Yeah.
I had to get to the point where I said, I love you. Like, I love my family. I love my church family. I'm from Oakland, California, in my church that I grew up in, Wings of Love, Maranatha Ministries in East Oakland. It's still there today on the corner of 78th and MacArthur. Everyone that said, do not go to Hollywood, go into ministry. I had to say, I love you. I love you enough to do what God has called me to do. And I love me enough. I love me enough to go even if you say don't. Because I have got to go on this journey called life. I've got to go figure this out. And guess what? I might be wrong. And guess what? That's okay. But what I can't do is miss out on my destiny because I don't want to disappoint you. And bro, this is the balance. Everybody is trying to not disappoint someone. And you know who gets disappointed the most? You.
Yeah.
When you are trying to please everybody and you yourself are not following the destiny in your heart and the destiny God has revealed to you, the person that you disappoint is yourself.
That's facts.
And for me, the vision to go to Hollywood was so strong that I said, I've got to go. I might fail, I might mess up, but hey, I got to go figure this out. And so I had to just stay clear of that vision. I had to stay committed to that vision. And I had to put myself in an environment to get evidence and confirmation if that's what I was supposed to do. Yeah. And I would just say to people, look, pray for me. If you don't see it this way, pray for me. But what I can't do, I can't allow then you to be my God. Because if I don't follow God and I follow you, then now you're my God. And if I let you be my God, then I can tell you what, I'm going to go in the opposite direction he created me to go.
Yeah.
Because the only person that can get me where I'm supposed to be is him.
Yeah.
And the only way I get there is by listening.
Yeah.
And by going here instead of this.
Yeah.
So that's how I did it, man. I just had to tune everybody out. I had to go and see and experience for myself.